What is up, everyone? We are back for day 3 from Jada Toys at San Diego Comic-Con. We got our last reveal for Wave 2 of their Alpha 3 line. Really big one that people were wanting and asking for. So this is exciting news, and we'll break her down here in just a second. We're also going to look at the new direction that Jada Toys is going to be taking moving forward in some of their action figures and licensing. So some really exciting stuff there as well. But guys, the reveal for today, the last figure from Alpha 3 is none other than Sakura. Of course, this is a fan favorite character, one that we don't have many in figure form for the 1/12 scale. So a lot of people were very excited and were really wanting her to be one of the early releases for Jada Toys Alpha line. Super great. This thing is looking really cool. We'll dive into the aesthetics and everything here in just a second. But guys, we went like 5 for 6 on our predictions of what we're going to be seeing from Jada Toys at San Diego Comic-Con. From Alpha, we did predict Ken, Adon, and Sakura, and unfortunately we missed on Ken, but we got Guy instead, and that is a really solid release as well, because June did confirm that they will not be tackling Street Fighter 2 characters in the Alpha line moving forward. But this Wave 2 is super solid. I want to shout out to the Figure Report and Toy Migos for giving me these early images, and Sakura is looking so good. Now she's looking like a rather, far along prototype, sort of like Adon. Looks like these things have been worked on quite a bit. I'm really liking this aesthetic. The more we see Jada reveal from their Alpha 3 line, the bigger picture, the full vision is starting to come into focus, and I think it's a really interesting strategic approach from Jada Toys to take a new stylistic approach for their Alpha 3 line, even differing from their Street Fighter 2 stuff. And I said this in the last video, and June did confirm this in an interview later that day. This will be a divisive, step from Jada Toys for some collectors of their Street Fighter line. But when you kind of step back and see the full vision of where they're going with this Alpha line and see how it's all going to come together, I think it's going to look really cool and be a very interesting new take on these figures. So I'm looking forward to it. I think Sakura looks super good already. Of course, we're going to see them continue to iterate, continue to improve on these prototypes. But man, this Adon and this Sakura are looking like they're already, very far along in the process, and we're probably only going to see some minor tweaks here and there. I'm liking Sakura's face. Her face sculpt, I think, came out really well as like the Adon character, compared to like Guy and some of the other characters like Chun-Li. This one feels definitely more fleshed out in this brand new style, and I'm really digging it. Sakura also, I love the way her costume came out. It's simplified but dramatic. I'm liking these Alpha proportions where they have these larger hands, larger feet. They just have that dramatic look to them that really kind of calls back to early Alpha stylings, especially some of the early Alpha concept artwork for these characters. So I think it's really cool. Sakura in her win pose here. I love the long flowing bandana on her head, or head ribbon, whatever you want to call that. Liking the colors already. These things are going to be a ton of fun. I'm also paying attention to what they're doing with the articulation here, because we're seeing them implement a lot of new things, implementing stuff from the Invincible line into the Alpha line for their 2.0 articulation. So they're also exploring with their engineering, which I think is a lot of fun as well. Now we have the Figure Report here giving us a video just showing us the entirety of the Alpha 3 section. You can see this all coming together where they're having a uniform aesthetic across all of these characters, and I think, like the Street Fighter 2 line, they're just going to continue to improve and iterate on this styling with each character, and every wave is going to get better and better. So I can't wait to see how these figures start to look in finalized forms because I think they're going to be a lot of fun. As far as critiques and improvements for these figures in their final forms, I would like to see some updates to the paint applications, some nice subtle shading through the clothing to really help it pop, as well as some of the musculature. Like the Adon has really great shading in his musculature. I would like to see that carried on throughout more of the characters, especially within their clothing. Chun-Li's face I would like to see updated. I think it's not quite there, but it's, getting there. We're getting there, but I think it needs some adjustments. Guy appears to be like the earliest prototype, like his pants don't have any shape or form to them currently, so I'm hoping they add some wrinkles or just drapage to the sculpt of Guy. He seems to be, honestly, the most unbaked prototype that we've seen so far, especially sitting next to Sakura and Adon, so I hope we see continued improvements and updates to this Guy figure. But I'm liking where this is going, and this is actually a perfect segue into the next segment of this video, where we're going to talk about Jada's new approach to one-off characters. They mentioned this in their panel yesterday or on Thursday, that they're taking a new approach to some of this licensing that they're trying to get, that being one-off characters from Capcom and other IPs as well. And one of those reveals that we got from their quote-unquote one-off characters was a big one that came out of left field, one that surprised me, had my jaw on the floor, and got a really big reaction from the crowd at the panel as well as at San Diego Comic-Con, and that is Strider from Strider 2. This thing is already looking really cool. You can tell that this is still an early prototype and has some improvements and things needing to be done to it, but already in this form, I think it's going to be a very cool figure. We'll talk about that and break down some of the interesting things I noticed in this prototype that also relates back to the Street Fighter Alpha 3 stuff, specifically the Guy character and some new engineering that they're experimenting and playing with on these figures. But yeah, this Strider 2, great move from Jada Toys. And to continue to tackle these Marvel vs. Capcom characters, I think is just a really smart strategic move from Jada. I can't wait to see where they move forward, doing these one-off characters and pulling from other Capcom licenses to do these quote-unquote one-off characters, because there's just a lot of really cool ones that they can do. I would love to see them do Jin from Cyberbots, one of my favorite characters from Marvel vs. Capcom. I know they have the Mega Man license, but would love to see them pull and do the Tron Bon from Marvel vs. Capcom. There's just a ton of really cool characters out there that we could see them do one-offs from. Heck, we might even see them do some Darkstalkers characters to fill out that Marvel vs. Capcom cast. So, keep your eyes peeled. I expect we see some really interesting things from Jada Toys with these one-off characters. So yeah, super exciting. Can't wait to see that. But I did also want to talk a little bit more about this Strider character, because again, he is looking really good, and I'm seeing some relation from his stylings and his engineering to the new Wave 2 Guy that we just saw them reveal the other day. Now we have that aesthetic that is going to, I think, meld really well with their Alpha 3 figures. And what I wanted to point out specifically, even though these are both looking like they're early prototypes, I think they might be earlier prototypes than the Adon and the Sakura, because I want you to pay attention to these knee joints. These knees that you're seeing them do here are actually brand new approaches to the knee joint. So this is even beyond what they're calling their 2.0 articulation setup. This is a really interesting seamless knee that they're trying to implement for these two characters, and I think that's why these are maybe some of the most recent earlier prototypes that we're seeing on display here. I think it's a really interesting, cool choice for them to do. I don't see a lot of other companies do this. I did see this most recently. The one that comes to my mind is the 5-2 Toys Ryu, and I really liked how they approached that and how seamless it looks and how great it looks once you have the knee bent as well. I think Mayfex is also doing some similar knees to these sort of seamless look where, you know, you have the leg straight and it looks like there really isn't a knee joint there, but once you bend that knee, there's a nice curvature there. There's not a lot of blockiness. It doesn't have a lot of weird lippiness to it. So this is actually very interesting and a look into the future of what Jada Toys is trying to develop for the engineering of their characters. So yeah, I really like that, really interesting, and really actually happy to see that Jada is just, again, continuing to explore, experiment, and improve on these figures. We don't even have their 2.0 articulation stuff in hand yet. That's going to start with the Invincible line. And we can see here they're already beginning to improve on that as well. So really great. Like to see this and can't wait to see where that ends up in the end in their final forms. But yeah, so that is exciting. And last but not least, we're going to now transition to the last one-off property that they announced at their panel yesterday, and we're finally getting a look at in prototype form. Really exciting one for fans of classic anime. That is Astro Boy, and Astro Boy is looking really cool too, looking like a far along prototype as well. Like, I thought in the images from the panel where it's kind of hard to see that this was basically going to be like the Mega Man body and Mega Man articulation setup, just with Astro Boy head on top. But no, that is not the case. Seeing this in person and seeing these up close images, you can see this is an entire rehaul of that, you know, smaller sort of Mega Man style, almost chibi style body. You can see that they are doing the import style double elbow, so this thing is probably going to get a ton of range throughout all of its articulation and its knees and elbows. This thing even has little tiny butterfly joints that look like it's probably that, you know, butterfly joint that we're seeing them implement in their Street Fighter line, and that is actually just so cool to see. So I can't wait to get this Astro Boy figure in hand. You know, I'm not like a huge Astro Boy fan, but you got to respect and love the aesthetic of the classic Astro Boy, because, you know, he is just an icon when it comes to classic anime and just, you know, designs of characters in general. June also mentioned that this guy's going to have swappable eyes, so not swappable faces or head sculpts, but it seems like you're going to be able to maybe take the face off and put different eyes into the head sculpt, which is, again, just something new, a new approach for Jada Toys, and I just am so excited to see them continue to innovate in this, you know, domestic market for action figures. And I'm guessing we're also going to still be getting these figures with all of their improvements at still an incredibly affordable price. So that is going to pretty much wrap it up for day 3. We got our last reveal for Alpha 3, and the wave is finally complete. All 3 characters are looking really great, looking really promising. I can't wait to see the new iterations of them moving forward. We should be getting pre-orders for Wave 1 of Alpha 3 this fall, so can't wait to see that as well and see if we get any changes from now until then. And then, of course, they revealed this brand new direction where they're not going to be tackling full rosters of IPs, but really taking on one-off characters, one-off designs, and I, again, think that is just such a smart move for Jada Toys moving forward to do and innovate in a lot of really cool ways. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. That is the last of my San Diego Comic-Con coverage for Jada Toys, unless they decide to go and reveal and pull something else out of the cabinets at their display. But that seems to be it. This was an absolute blast, and I hope you enjoyed this as well. As an action figure fan, as a Street Fighter fan, as a Jada Toys fan, this has been a ton of fun. And if you guys are enjoying this content, feel free to join the community. If you aren't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Out of everything they showed this weekend, what has been your favorite so far? Thanks for spending some time with me and hanging out, enjoying the action figure content, and I will catch you guys probably in 2 days. Monday, I'm going to do a recap of everything that we've seen. We're going to do a celebration video for 1,000 subscribers sometime next week. So if you've made it to the end of this video, if you've subscribed and you want to be a part of this community, I'm going to be doing a celebration collection tour and Q&A video probably sometime next week. So if you have any general question, if it's regarding me personally, if it's regarding collecting toys, drop it in the comments below. I want to gather a bunch of questions to answer for the Q&A portion of that celebration video, and I appreciate every single one of you for spending some time with me here today, and I hope you enjoyed San Diego Comic-Con. But that's it, guys. It's been a grind, and it's time to sign off, so I will see you next time.